After discussing with my family and coaches and my teammates, I decided that I'm going to declare for the draft, but I'm going to retain my eligibility by staying in school, doing all the right things. Through the new rules, I'm able to hire an agent. I have hired an agent, and with full intent to stay. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to retain my eligibility. You know, keep going to class. And it's been a great process so far. Me and Coach have been talking about this for a while in the off season, and he's had his full support of me, and so have all the coaches. Me and Coach actually worked out last week together. He's been working me out, and so have all the other assistants. So I'm just excited for this opportunity, and just to see what happens.
With that, we'll let you answer some questions for Lamar. There may be some things that he can't comment on right now as he begins this process.
Lamar, did you say you intend to come back? You're using this as a fallback situation in case the NBA doesn't work out. Could you just be a little bit more clear on that?
Yeah, well, this is my dream, and I feel like my game is really ready, and I'm really confident. So I feel like once I get in front of the NBA personnel, I can really impress. So right now, my #1 focus is the draft and just focusing on the NBA. But if I don't get the feedback that I like, or am not, if they tell me that another year will really improve my stock, then I'm going to come back and help this team go to new heights.
And where are you academically now? Could you share that with us? And how important is that end of things for you moving forward in terms of getting a degree?
Yeah, it's very important. I know that I'm definitely going to get a degree. I'm in my second semester, my junior year, and I'm on track to graduate next year at this time, and that's just where I am right now.
Are there specific baselines that you're looking for in terms of that feedback? Would just being a draft pick, would that be enough? Do you need to be first round? Are there any standards that you're looking to hear from?
I'm not ready to comment on that.
Thinking of a way to ask the same question twice.
Well, Lamar will be happy to provide you with exactly the same answer.
I will continue to not comment on that. I guess the question would be, how much do you look at what happened with Tony and go, he's the guy that got drafted, he had his opportunity. Yeah. Obviously, you get an opportunity, maybe you play differently, things go differently. And basically, it's the same question, but how do you know? Is it a feel thing for you? Is it a number thing for you?
I think that, when that time comes, that I'm going to sit and evaluate where I am, what teams like me, and where I may fall, and see, I'm going to discuss it over with my agent, with my coaches and my family, and we're going to come to the best decision for me. I look at Tony's situation, and Tony's a great player, and I know he's going to end up in the league. So he just took a different route, and he has a different situation. And I think that, we're just like, he plays one way, I play a different way, and I'm confident that he's going to be in the league, and I'm confident in myself.
And how much of an impact did the end of this year have on, not your decision, it makes sense for you to go and see, but to know that, these freshmen kind of turned the corner, you guys turned a corner, it's, there's something to come back to here if you decide that's what you want to do. How appealing does that make things on this end? Yeah,
I think we're going to be really good if I do come back. I think this team will be really good. Either way, I think they'll be really good because you just could see the growth in the young guys, and I think guys like Trent Buttrick and even John are going to take huge strides for this team. But you saw already what our freshman guards can do, and I think they'll be some of the best guards in the league.
How much, if at all, does a legacy of Penn State factor in at all in terms of achieving what you guys wanted to achieve when you first decided to come here in the first place?
That was the original reason why I wanted to come here, is to start a legacy and, just leave my mark on this team. And of course it's important to me because Penn State has just been so great to me, and everybody has been so welcoming and supportive. So that does mean a lot to me. But I also have to feel like I have to do some time, just figure out what's best for myself as well. So it's a mixture of both.
And then what type of feedback, I'm assuming it's all support, but, what are the interactions with your current teammates?
Oh yeah, it's full support. They've known for some time now that I was going to do this, and we've just been pushing each other because I want them to be better, and they want me to, be better whenever there's time for me to workouts and stuff like that. If I get invited to the combine, and it's just been us just constantly pushing each other to get better, for different stuff.
Not to have you speak for him because he hasn't said it himself, but assuming that Mike is going through the similar sort of motions of seeing, what his options are, do you feel like you're going through this sort of journey together to kind of figuring out what your futures are? How much do you kind of talk to other guys that have gone through the process, maybe Shep or somebody? I mean, I guess Shep didn't do the same thing as you, but just sort of what it's like to figure out what, the professional life is like.
We have Coach Freeman on the staff that I talk to a lot, and I know he went through this playing at UConn. So that's the guy I really rely on to talk to through the process, and he's been great. And with Mike, I'm not sure. I don't want to speak on anything because I don't know, and I think it's something he needs to say. But that's mainly the person I've been relying on, Coach Freeman and Coach Chambers, to really help guide me through the process.
Lamar, your three-point shooting, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm guessing it wasn't where you would have hoped it would have been this past year. How much do you feel you need to improve in that area to be able to play at that next level?
That's definitely something I'm going to have to improve at. And I've been working on that ever since the season ended, just getting up shots every day. And I'm feeling a lot more confident, and I'm excited to be able to show my progress in front of NBA people.
How much does the way the current system works, where you're able to test the waters and see what it's like without risking anything, you still have the option to come back, how much did that factor into this? Was it kind of a no-brainer to at least test it and see what it was like or what feedback you're going to get?
Yeah, because I thought I had a pretty good year for myself, and I'm excited to just show my will to win in front of NBA people, and whether that's offense or defense. And so it was definitely a no-brainer, especially through the new rules.
Lamar, you mentioned sitting down and talking with your agent as well as your family and other people that are important in this conversation for you. Can you talk about that relationship and just kind of what you've been hearing from that end of the spectrum as far as what they think that your future could be like this year in the draft?
Can you ask that one more time?
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to kind of know more about your relationship with your agent, kind of what you guys have talked about as far as your future this year and kind of where he stands in this conversation.
He has my full support. He's not telling me anything, that I kind of already didn't know in terms of, where I stand right now. But we both think that that can really drastically change once, you get into workouts and stuff like that. So we're optimistic about the future and excited to see where it goes.
Even if you decide to come back next year, how beneficial will this process be for you in terms of just getting your face out in front of and showing yourself off to NBA execs and everybody who makes decisions like that, even for next year, even if you decide to come back?
Yeah, I think really honestly for me it's a win-win. One way I go to play professionally, two, I come back to a great school and really get to end my legacy. How I really envision, and I really believe that if I do come back, we'll take this team to places it's never been, and I think that's exciting either way. So I don't feel any pressure either way to stay or leave. It's just because both options are great for me.
And you mentioned your legacy a little bit. How important is your legacy at Penn State to you? And obviously, if you have another season like you did the last two, you're probably going to break the scoring record. How much does something like that factor in, and the things you could accomplish in terms of your legacy here?
Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool to be able to break the scoring record. I think Taylor Battle holds it, and you just see how talented he is. So that would be an honor for me. But like I said, it's weighing, you know, what's best for myself, you know, and whether it's leaving or coming back. So that's the decision I'm going to make later down the line.
There are a lot of dates that are built into this process for you, but do you have sort of a timeline? Do you want to take it down to the last day, so to speak, or are you going, I'm going to give this X amount of time and then go from there?
I haven't decided that. I'm just going, you know, just going to play it from day by day. I'm not really focusing down the line. I'm just focusing on right now, just getting better, preparing myself, and you know, when that time comes, I'm not going to wait or anything. Whenever I decide is when I decide, I guess.
And you've played your entire basketball career for all intents and purposes without getting paid, and then the opportunity to get paid shows up, and that sounds pretty great, but is there like a Lithuanian country you don't want to end up in that you go, you know, Slovakia with, you know, 8 feet of snow 6 months out of the year is not for me?
Right.
Is there sort of like not to have you list European leagues, but is there sort of
I think that's way too far down the line, Ben. I think let's deal with the present right now.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
Possible.
Just to be maybe more direct, are you looking at this as NBA or bust, or, you know, NBA or come back, or are there other options that you might consider professionally?
I haven't decided.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate